Hi everyone, this is Dragon GJY. Welcome to the third episode of IS3 n15 guide. In this part, I will be introducing rejections, which are debuffs on a single operator, and calls, which are similar to the hallucinations of IS2, and analyze how much they will affect our gameplay. I'll also talk about new enemies that debuted in this IS, so we have a rough idea of what we are dealing with here. First, let's talk about the rejections in the order of their disturbance to gameplay. And we have the infamous Flash Mutation here. Operator affected will have their max HP, attack, defense, DP, and redeployment time halved. This is absolutely devastating for most operators, especially the defenders and the physical DPS of your team. The DP and redeployment time cut can help with some functionality-based operators like non-damage fast redeployments like skill 2 red. If you manage to get yourself this relic called Glory Bundle, you can use your mutated FRD as stun bombs. You put them down, you get them killed, they stun enemies for 6 seconds and they come back in around 6 seconds. But other than that, this rejection is the most notorious one out of all 4. Next is Blood Disorder. Operator affected will take 150 true damage every second whenever their HP is not full. The rejection will not kill the operator though, and they will be left with at least 1 HP. This one is quite annoying, especially if you do not have enough healing. It also requires you to manage your taunt, and if done correctly, range operators is less affected. A multi-target healer can ease out these situations better. Muinar, because of his taunt, is very sensitive to this rejection, and he also got a huge HP pool to heal up for. Next is Neurodegeneration. Operators affected will be frozen for 15 seconds after they're deployed. This rejection is easier to deal with because it's not that troublesome for all the operators. Only ones with passive skills or need to quickly come in and get off are notably and actually severely impacted. For operators who don't need to immediately activate their skills, you can work around it by deploying them earlier. Things to know are Red Skill 2, Texas Auto Skill 3 stuns will work just fine even when they're frozen. On top of that, Yato Alter is immune to any status effect during her Skill 2 and Skill 3, so this rejection doesn't really affect her at all. Finally, we have Concentration Disorder. Operators affected will automatically use their skills whenever it's fully charged. This one is actually quite fine. They are a trouble for operators who need to precisely use their skills like Muinar, Pasyamka, which are important damage dealers in n15, but other than that, it's easy to work around it and it is effectively nothing for passive and auto skills. With rejections out of the way, let's take a look at all the calls. Like hallucinations, they are effective only on the current floor and are determined when you enter this floor, before you roll the dice. First, we have Exploration. The length of this floor is extended by 2 nodes, but the light loss happened on this floor by any means will be doubled. This is actually allowed you to have more nodes for team build up, and it's pretty fine if you manage to not lose light, but can be a little annoying if you are going for the third ending. Overall, it's mostly positive. Combat. All friendlies and enemy non-boss unit gain 50 attack speed. All friendlies will have their healing and or life recovery received reduced by 70%. By bosses, only bosses unit in Dreadful Foe nodes are regarded as boss. Enemies like Pompeii that appears in standard maps will still receive the attack speed buff and is very dangerous. Medics will become very weak because overall they will provide less healing. All the passive life regenerations like Bards, Angelina, Whisper Rain, Perfumer talents are not affected. Overall, this call is mildly negative and can be a pain in some maps. Conversation plus 3 ingots upon entering non-battle nodes loses all ingots gained on this floor when entering the next floor. This is very good for floors with shop. It's only a feels Batman moment when you have the attack speed relics, but they are not as strong as in IS2 already. Rise and fall, ingots gained from battles are doubled. but loses 1 life point upon entering a battle. This is annoying when you want to build up towards that A+ life points for stacking shields, but note that life points lost in this way are not regarded as battle loss and thus will not inflict light loss. Next, we have Sustenance, 30% chance to drop an additional recruitment voucher after finishing a battle. All enemies will have plus 15 resistance. This is obviously very unfriendly to arts damage, but it's already that way to begin with, and you won't be going for arts damage core 99% of the time. On the flip side, it provides a good chance for building towards a well-rounded roster with more vouchers, so I'd say it's mostly positive. All for me, experience gained from clearing battles plus 50%. All enemies will have plus 50% defense. This is devastating if appeared on boss floors, especially when you fight the final night boss, which will have 8,280 defense with the core. But for earlier floors like the first and second floor, this is quite good for building up, but I say this is the most annoying one. Rapid growth plus 1 max life point after finishing a battle, but will take double shield and life point loss by any means. This is very helpful for building up towards stacking shields, and it is mostly positive if you manage to not leak on the floor. Adaptation, grant a random relic upon entering a relic node. Cannot identify any nodes other than the next accessible nodes. This is basically blind if there are no guaranteed relic nodes on this floor, and can be a little annoying when you are actively looking for a particular node. For example, if you need emergency transport for E2 or clearing rejections, or exchange to throw away the debuff relics. With all the calls done, let's take a look at all the new enemy debuts. I provided their stats on N0, N15, and N15 emergency just for reference. I also do not have their official names, so I will just call them by their nicknames. First, we have Bonefish. They deal some corrosion damage and will appear starting from first floor. Apple Snails. Upon attacking for the first time, they will stop moving and increase defense by 300 for 20 seconds. They can kill ranged operators very fast, so you need to manage your taunt carefully. For elites, we have the Catapult Breeder. They only attack ground units, and when attacking, they will throw an Offspring on the target's tile. It has a huge attack radius of 4 tiles with pretty high defense and a 40 to 60k health pool. They are a big threat to defenders and non-AoE ground units. You will know the reason when you look at the Offspring they throw. They have rather low stats and will lose health over time, but will deal 60% of the attack as corrosion damage. You can see them as a melee unit that will take up an operator's block count. They do not attack when the operator on that tile is not blocking them, so they are very dangerous towards high block count operators because multiple of them together can chip off their defense insanely fast. They also cause you to leak for that method. Finally, we have the Seaborn UFOs. They levitate, can deal ranged attack in 2.6 tile radius when they do, and always do an additional 50% of attack as corrosion damage. They can be shut down by stun, freeze, or sleep, after which they can no longer do range attacks. As you can see, they are very thick, also have 60 resistance. It's impractical to kill them while they're still in air, and they are very threatening when they can do range attacks. Now finally, let's do a summary. Bonefish, they can kill off non-defender units very fast even on first floor. Apple Snails usually comes in large numbers to murder your range operators, appear with other corrosion damage dealers to take advantage of lowered defense. One trick you can do is to throw an operator as decoy to trick them into using their passive and keep them where they are for 20 seconds. Breeders, they are nightmare for ground units, especially if they're not AoE, so they will be stuck in a eternal hell of just clearing off the offsprings on their feet. They chip off your defense and make your defenders thin as paper, and also makes you leak a ton. They are, however, heavily countered by Winnar for his taunt, so they will always throw Offspring on Winnar regardless of how you deploy, but since he is block 0 off skill, he will not take any subsequent damage. He also does AoE with skill 3, so he can clear off the Offsprings really fast. UFOs, it's always better to shoot them down from the sky, otherwise they can easily kill off anyone, especially ranged units in n15. They are countered by anti-air control means, most notably Texas Alter skill 3. Other good options are Gnosis, Cruise Alter, Meyer, Arato, etc. That's it for part 3. I will be recommending some good candidates for M15 in the coming episodes, so stay tuned. But also remember to pray to Yostar because IS3 has been delayed for ages. So see you soon. Bye bye.